down? It's your homie Jay Green. I got my man Barry in the building. And right now, in honor of He-Man, we are going to give you 4 toys that should be turned into live action films. All right, now there's plenty of toys out there that you'd be like, oh man, I wish that was a live action film. And they've done a whole bunch of them already, right? So we're going to break down 2 apiece, all right? Why we think they should be a live action film, maybe how that might go, what it might look like, that type of swag. All right, so Barry, you want to kick it off or you want me to rock with it?
Yeah, I'll kick it off. The first one I'm thinking of, man, I think is one that a lot of people have been waiting for. I know I've been waiting for since I was a kid. And if they make it now, it'll be a straight banger for real. If they do it right, if they keep it dark, it'll work. And I think that's Thundercats. Because Thundercats was really cool with, like, you got the animals, you know, mixed with humans and everything. Everyone had, like, you know, super agility and special powers. And, you know, you had all this. So you had, like, Jenga and Lion-O and Panthra and Cheetara and Tigra and Snarf, you know, for the kids, of course. If you want to put some levity in there, you won't be too dark, you could throw him in there. But Lion-O and Panthra, those cats were not playing. That's one thing I loved about that. It was a cartoon. Yes, I know it was a cartoon. And, of course, you know, it had toys. But one thing I loved about that was that Lion-O and Panthro, especially Lion-O, was not playing. Like, he was the king. He was not bullshitting. Like, he never really smiled or laughed. He laughed here and there when he had to. Most of the time, he came to work. He was not fucking around. He's like, yo, we gotta kill this cat. What was it? What was the bad guy's name again? What was his name? I just had it in front of me. I forget his name. But Anyway, you guys know what it is. Just let me know who it is. But anyway, yes, definitely Thundercats. That's my pick. Absolutely.
Thundercats is legit. They would have to definitely take the time to figure out the design of the cat.
Right.
Because we've seen it go awry. Okay. That'd be fine.
Right. We don't know Broadway cats, not Broadway cats.
The first one I'm going to give you has been done. It's G.I. Joe's. Listen. G.I. Joe's has crazy potential. Who doesn't like a military, tactile, you know, very specific espionage spy type swag, but then you put a little bit of character flair behind each of the characters? My vision of G.I. Joe's would be something along the lines of what a Zack Snyder and a Michael Bay can give us, but with better writing from both. You dig what I'm saying? Zack Snyder, Michael Bay, they got great visuals. They can film action pretty dope. They can do all the crazy aesthetics and everything like that. But we do need a pretty fly writer to make it all make sense and ground it to a certain extent and make it believable enough to have fun with everything that the G.I. Joes can be. If you look at Captain America, Winter Soldier, that's basically what G.I. Joes could be. Captain America, Winter Soldier is basically what G.I. Joes can be. So if we can get that on that level, that would be dope.
I agree because that already was baked in the series. Like the entire model is baked in as should be like a freaking 6 movie series in the next 25 years. I mean, it's like another Mission Impossible. You know, like it's ready to go. Like you said, they have not done it right. I don't know why they can't get it right, but God, who knows? All right, so my next one is going to be, all right, you know what? I'm going to throw 2 out at you. One, I'm not even going to explain because I hear they're already making it, so I'm just going to leave myself out of it because I'm going to wish for things and they may not even give it to me. So what I'm talking about is going to be Hot Wheels. And I hear the Hot Wheels is already supposed to be in development by J.J. Abrams, Bad Robot Productions. So I'm like, you know what I mean? So I have my own idea of how Hot Wheels can be, but you know what? I'm not going to worry about my ideas. I guess don't matter right now. So I'm not going to get myself all worked up on it. But there's one that, all right, so hear me out, guys. It may sound a little odd at first, but just hear me out. Okay. So I'm thinking they never made a movie about this. Well, they made movies about it, but not the exact name of the characters. But it's been inspired by these characters. And what I'm talking about is Raggedy Ann and Andy. Ooh. Now listen to me. Raggedy Ann, right? Raggedy Ann really was supposed to be, Raggedy Ann inspired the movie Annabelle and inspired Conjuring. Because Raggedy Ann itself is supposed to be like a doll that's been, you know, possessed. That's what Raggedy Ann really is. Andy's just a regular guy. Raggedy Ann got some shit going with her. You know what I mean? So since they already did it, I'm like, okay, yeah, but I'm thinking my idea, guys, just hear me out. My idea is that why not make it say Anne and Andy? She has all the powers. She's like a super witch. Andy is just kind of like a cat that's got mad skills. Maybe he's some kind of FBI guy or something like that. And make it like almost X-Files with some supernatural elements with the heroes. So if that works, and call it Anne and Andy. That's my theatrical idea. That's my movie pitch right there.
Are these people or dolls?
These are dolls, bro. these are dolls go way back, but I was saying a live action, right? So I'm like, if they already took Raggedy Ann's idea, made the bitch into a doll, and made her into The Conjuring world, why not just have these guys live action, real people? No, I say real people, not dolls running around.
Okay,
real people.
Like,
no. Not dolls running around
I might be here for the doll version. You know what I'm saying? Like in the real world, I might be here for that.
That'd be creepy as hell, running around and whatnot. That'd be creepy as hell. But no, I'll say a live version and just call it Anne and Andy. You know, something like that, where it's like, okay, she has superpowers, he doesn't, and like I said, like an X-Files thing, but she has witching powers, you know what I mean, and make it more like a horror mystery type of thing. So you got a lot of people like James Wan could probably play in there. We could put a little Zack Snyder elements in there, make it some badass action, that darkness to it, you know what I mean, explosions. That's what I'm thinking of. So I'm just saying that's my idea of like, if anything is that's never been touched really, I would say, why not? Give it a shot. What do you guys think?
Yeah, that could be cool. All right, so my second and last one is going to be gargoyles. Now, if you ever grew up with gargoyles back in the day.
Oh, I almost forgot about that one.
It definitely gets pretty deep in the weeds with the mythology as the show goes on. But that first season, man, freaking great. They're, gargoyles, when you look at like, old school cathedral type churches and stuff like this, they're sitting there and whatnot. So the basic premise and thought is that at a point way back in medieval times, someone put like a curse on them or whatever like that, trapped gargoyles in stone. And then later down into our like modern times, they're able to come out at night. They're in like New York. They end up, they're in New York. They end up befriending this cop. I think her last name was like Mendez or Montoya, something like that. But they end up befriending this cop, and then now they're kind of like helping her out, solving crime and shit like this. But then you still have the mustache twirling villain who's
right.
kind of a Tony Stark, if you will, in the community of New York. And so they're kind of always going like head to head with this dude. So think the first Shazam movie when those like evil little gargoyles were out there, right?
Yeah.
The look of them could look pretty dope with what we can do with film technology today, right? So they can look hella dope. Then you think New York swag, make it a little bit more noir, a little dark. So give it like, I'm saying go adult with this shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Make it PG-13.
Yes,
you don't need to kill anybody. We don't need blood everywhere. But give us like the Batman. If you make it like the Batman with that type of swag in New York, gritty, grimy, a real threat element with some dope looking gargoyles and a great female lead against this male antagonist.
Oh yeah.
That shit could be fire as hell. And you get a little bit of time travel elements. So you got some time travel elements, and you also have a little bit of fantasy elements because you're kind of going back and forth, a little bit of that backstory. So some medieval times, New York, like that shit will be effing fire.
That shit would be a banger to you, right?
Disney, quit playing. It's right there. You're making all these other live action remakes that are whack. Gargoyles is right there for you, for the taking. Let's go.
Exactly, bro. And we've been waiting gargoyles for freaking 20 years. Everyone's been talking about that.
There's not one person that I grew up with that if I tell them, hey, wouldn't gargoyles be hella dope if it was live action? They'd be like, oh, hell yes. There's not one person who pitched that idea to, and they're going to be like, nah, that's dumb.
That's true. Everyone's gonna say, yo, what's up with that? We've been waiting for a long time, bro. Hell yeah. And me as a New Yorker, I would love to see the gargoyles because they are in New York. If you go to New York and you look up, you see them there. But just like you said, that whole noir thing and make that feel Batman, even throw some little bit of that swag from Underworld. and throw some of that action in there. I mean, yo, come on. It's there, like you said, it's there in front of you. What are you doing? You know what I mean?
Also say this. I've talked to so many people over the years about things that I grew up with and be like, oh, it's for the kids now. And this, look, Gargoyles was like a friggin' afternoon cartoon. Yeah. Kids was watching it. And that show was still very Shakespearean style. Like, I don't want to hear it for the kids. Kids are not dumb. Kids can watch things that have weight to it. Ask Pixar.
That's very true. And it was a dark cartoon. It was kind of like a lot of adult oriented.
It was on par with Batman. It was on par with Batman.
Right.
Very dark.
Yeah.
Let's go.
So yeah, they need to do that. So I agree, bro. I agree. Now I know we're supposed to do only 2, but I just want to throw one out there. Now this one, another one, just one more. All right. So I don't know how they'll do this and how the costume design would work. I'm just talking through the lens of me, where I always enjoyed this cartoon, had a fun time watching it growing up. And if they do it right, it can work. If they do it right. But as Justin and I been talking about these ideas, they got to put some money into it. If you pull back, it'll just be garbage. And what I'm talking about is Battle of the Planets. If anyone remembers that cartoon, Battle of the Planets, right? Yeah. So Battle of the Planets is about these 4 people that would dress up they look like birds. Okay. And the criminal was called Zoltan, and Zoltan was trying to kind of kill their planet. They were trying to protect their planet and other planets. And they all had like the ability to do things. They had superpowers. It's just they had these outfits and they were real agile and they were really smart. And they had like these different type of vehicles that separated from his main ship called the Phoenix. And from that Phoenix, they can actually go and save people and save planets and everything else. But the main thing in that cartoon was what the Phoenix turned into. So when everything goes to hell, right? When your back is against the wall and you can't win, then the Phoenix they actually take the ship way up, I guess, into the sky, further into space. And when they come back down, the Phoenix has to be at a certain speed, almost like a Back to the Future type thing, or a certain speed. And next thing, the Phoenix turns into this big fiery Phoenix, a huge Phoenix that can just kind of burn through anything and destroy everything and anything. So it was called Battle of the Planets. So if anyone out there doesn't know what Battle of the Planets is, check it out. Those that do know, they know what I mean, because Battle of the Planets did really well in the morning cartoons back in the days. And I was just hooked, and I was like, oh, this is so cool. Of course, at the end of every show, you had to throw the Phoenix in there, right? It always had to be something that they couldn't fight. They took out their little carts and they took out their little motorcycles and stuff. And they were like, yeah, come on. And they get their ass whipped. Oh no. And then they jump into the ship. They go up in the sky. They come back down, and the whole thing turns into a huge fiery Phoenix, and it just destroy everything in front of them. Towns, the criminal, Zoltan's troops. Like the whole thing was crazy, but it was really, really cool. So anyway, that's my thing. That's a personal thing. So look it up. Battle of the Planets.
That's what's up.
That's it. You know what I mean? So what's yours? If you had an idea and you had all the money in the world and you can do it, and they came to you and say, yo, whatever you want, pick a cartoon, pick a toy, we'll make it however you want it. What would it be? We'd love to hear from you. You know what I mean? You heard Justin and I's, so let's hear yours. Until next time, guys, see you soon. Peace.